Hello and welcome to the Insights and Motivation YouTube podcast. Yes, this is an AI-generated content, but remember, there was a human at the beginning of it, creating and curating this material with care and purpose. I request you, dear listener, to step aside from any bias and listen to the message itself. Take the message, not the messenger. That is the key. The same is true for the rest of the playlists and podcasts on this channel, each designed to inspire thought, dialogue, and transformation. Now let me begin the podcast. Geographical ecology and agriculture appreciation, immersive student programs for food, climate, and culture. If you and I want students to feel how culture arises from the land, we must move beyond textbooks. Immersive agroecology exchanges let students live with farming and fishing families across climates, tasting staple foods, working soils, joining market days, learning cooking methods, and tracking weather calendars. By living the climate, soil, crops, cuisine, craft, ritual, economy chain, students grasp why people eat what they eat, build how they build, and celebrate when they celebrate. Agroecology immersion, terroir-to-table education, regenerative agriculture, indigenous foodways, climate literacy, seed sovereignty, traditional irrigation, farm homestays, culinary anthropology, sustainable cuisine. Equality and inclusivity in schools. Why it matters. Agroecology trips often privilege urban wealthy students. True democracy opens the farm gate to everyone. Practical cultivation. Scholarships in gear libraries, boots, jackets, testing kits for low-income students. Reciprocal exchanges, rural to urban and urban to rural. Global South, Global North parity. Accessibility by design, step-free farm routes, sensory-friendly spaces, captioned demos, tactile soil and seed kits. Representation, seats reserved for girls, Indigenous youth, and students with disabilities in field leadership. Number 2, freedom and rights. Why it matters. Living diets, dress, and rituals must be chosen, not imposed. Practical cultivation, opt-in menus and conscience clauses, vegetarian, vegan, halal, kosher, allergen-safe pathways, respectful observation of religious food rules. Dress accommodations, modesty, climate needs, and safety gear choices. Creative reflection rights, field journals, vlogs, recipe zines, photo essays in home language, plus school language. 3, rule of law and accountability, why it matters. Fieldwork needs safety, ethics, and biosecurity. Practical cultivation, plain language safety sheets, heat, cold, altitude, hydration, tools, animal handling. Ethics and consent, ask before photographing people, seeds, or sacred sites. Attribute knowledge to farmers, fishers, elders. Food safety protocols, allergy disclosures, potable water plans, kitchen hygiene, first aid, and insurance coverage. Biosecurity, clean boots, tools between farms, no seed removal without permission. Measure 4, participation and representation, why it matters. Farmers and fishers aren't props, they're co-educators. Practical cultivation, community advisory boards, farmers, fishers, artisans, market vendors, cooks, and youth. Co-designed itineraries, host families choose which tasks students try. Irrigation, transplanting, net mending, spice grinding, terrace maintenance. Apprenticeship badges, hours with a craftsperson, weaving, cheesemaking, fermentation, boat repair, count for credit. Measure 5, transparency and truthfulness, why it matters. Avoid curated food shows. Show the real calendar, hard work and beauty both. Practical cultivation, open schedules. Include pre-dawn milking, monsoon delays, market bargaining, post-harvest festivals. Cost and carbon clarity. Publish trip budgets and travel footprints. Plan local offsets via tree belts or cook stove upgrades. Method logs. Students post bilingual field notes, raw data and recipes tried, successes and failures. 6. Deliberation and dialogue. Why it matters. Land and water decisions are contested. Teach fair, empathetic debate grounded in evidence and tradition. Practical cultivation. 2 lens forums. Start with stories, seasonal songs, planting myths, then layer maps, rainfall charts, soil tests. Dialogue frames. Our elders say our measurements show what compromise honors both. Market roundtables. Producers, traders, chefs, and students discuss pricing, waste, and fair pay. Number 7. Checks, balances, and power sharing. Why it matters. Keep power from clustering in one school or one region. Practical cultivation. Rotating hosts, highland, lowland, coastal, inland, arid, humid. Dual review of projects, technical, agronomy, food science, and cultural, customs, consent. Shared data custody. Community keeps copies of maps, photos, and results. Char 8. Civic education and awareness. Why it matters. Food systems are public policy, water rights, subsidies, land use, climate adaptation. Practical cultivation, mock food councils, students simulate panchayat, municipal hearings on canals, fishing zones, seed laws. Waste to value, design low-cost dryers, cold chains, or compost hubs with local entrepreneurs. Label literacy, read GI tags, organic marks, and fair trade labels. Discuss what they really guarantee. 9. Social justice and equity. Why it matters. Climate shocks and price swings hit smallholders and fisherfolk first. Practical cultivation, justice lens. Map who bears droughts, floods, cyclones, plan equitable water sharing and relief drills. Seed sovereignty. Support community seed banks and women's self-help groups, document land races and their traits. Dignity-first storytelling. Highlight farmers and fishers as innovators, not victims. Tomorrow morning micro-practices, soil in a jar test for texture, sand, silt, clay, pH strips, log results. Terroir tasting. Compare 2 onions, 2 salts, 2 rices. Note aroma, texture differences, and hypothesize why. Monsoon season wheel. Students map local festivals to rainfall and cropping stages. Kitchen lab, 1 heritage recipe per week with a science sidebar, gelatinization, emulsification, fermentation. Market math, track price, weight, seasonality, graph volatility. Have minimal policy kit, 1 to 2 pages each. 1. Field safety and biosecurity, heat, colds, hygiene, boot cleaning. 2. Consent and attribution, photos, interviews, Indigenous knowledge credit. 3. Diet and health protocol, allergens, beliefs, hydration, first aid. 4. Equity and scholarship charter, who goes, who hosts, parity. 5. Open data and reflection, bilingual logs, raw data, community copies. Assessment and accountability, simple metrics, percent participation by income, gender, disability, region. Co-designed host family tasks completed, not staged demos. Soil water datasets collected, pH, EC, Brix, turbidity, and replicated by peers. Recipe to ritual write-ups linking dish, crop, season, festival, livelihood. Community feedback scores, useful, respectful, would host again. Post-trip actions, school garden started, food waste reduced, policy brief submitted. Culture-specific adaptation examples, use modify. India, monsoon and agrodiversity, intelligible globally. Millets and pulses in semi-arid Deccan, step wells and tank cascades for water harvesting. Rice fish systems in the east, Panchanga seasons tied to sowing, harvest festivals. Spice Coast, pepper, cardamom, shade agroforestry, fermentation of batters, idli dosa to teach microbiomes. Himalayan terraces, altitude, frost dates, and apple potato cultivars compare with Andean terraces. Japan, rice paddies, Satoyama landscape, nori aquaculture, miso soy fermentation, umami science and seasonal bento. Mediterranean, Italy, Greece, Morocco, olive vine wheat triad. Dryland farming, stone mulches, terracing, olive oil tasting linked to cultivar and soil. Andes, Peru, Bolivia, chuño, freeze-dried potato, quinoa diversity, llama alpaca grazing, high-altitude physiology, and terrace hydrology. Sahel, Mali, Niger, zai pits and buns for moisture capture, millet, sorghum as climate-resilient staples, shea and baobab value chains. Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines, irrigated rice, fish ponds, coconut and banana agroforestry, night markets and fermentation, fish sauce. Arctic, subarctic, Sami, Inuit, reindeer herding, fish drying, seal char preparation, ice safety and seasonal light cycles. Middle East, Iran, Oman, Qanat Falaj gravity irrigation, date palm oases, sourdoughs, flatbread heat management. West Africa, Ghana, cocoa agroforestry, kente cotton growing and dye plants, fermented foods, banku, kenki. Pacific Islands, taro and breadfruit gardens, reef stewardship, cyclone-ready food storage. North America, Europe, diverse, dairy and cheese microbiology, prairie grains, community-supported agriculture and farmers markets. A simple terroir-to-table student model. 1. Climate and water, rainfall, temperature, monsoon season. 2. Soils and landform, texture, fertility, terrace, valley, coast. 3. Crops and livestock, landraces, breeds, fishing calendars. 4. Processing and storage, fermentation, drying, pickling, cold chain. 5. Cuisine and ritual, meals, festivals, fasting, feasting. 6. Economy and identity, markets, GI tags, migration, diaspora dishes. Students map each host family through this lens and present a bilingual foodway atlas of their exchange. How nations project themselves globally and how you can guide students. Soft power through foodways. Publish student-made microdocs of farms, kitchens, and markets with open captions and alt text. Agri-innovation meets heritage. Showcase prototypes, solar dryers, rain sensors, built with farmers, not for them. Trade and tourism literacy. Teach how climate, soils, and heritage create value, then protect it ethically. Did this podcast resonate with you? Are you an educator or a higher authority with the ability to influence educational policy and reform? If so, I encourage you to share this podcast as widely as possible within your connections, and do share and subscribe to this channel. This channel has lots of playlists and educational psychological content with a focus on how to improve all systems of education, corporate culture, and many such topics. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for our next podcast.